All right. Excuse me. Mind leaving your bad mood behind outside? Okay. Let's see what this is going to be about. Bad moods, I guess. Okay. And open up to our first page. And this is our first page. Okay. Toby was playing in the basement. He was sitting under the table and minding his own business when Bad Mood climbed through the window. "Looks like a good place to live," said the Bad Mood. "I think I'll move in." "Darn," said Toby. "I hate bad moods. I'm leaving." He stood up, but forgot he was under the table. Thump! Toby bumped his head. He cried all the way up the stairs. "What's wrong?" said Toby's father. "There's a bad mood in the basement," said Toby, "but I don't want to talk about it." His father winked at Toby's mother and said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of the bad mood." So he went down to the basement. He soon forgot why he was there and began to read the Sports Illustrated. On his way back upstairs, his father tripped over the bad mood and fell down the stairs. Bump, bump, bump. "Darn," said the father. "I hate bad moods." He mumbled and grumbled and rubbed his sore knee all the way up the stairs. "What's wrong?" said Toby's mother. "There's a bad mood in the basement," said his father, "but I don't want to talk about it." Toby's mother winked at Toby's sister and said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of the bad mood." So she went down to the basement. She soon forgot why she was there and began to do the laundry. She was pouring bleach into the machine when the bad mood suddenly bumped her elbow. She got such a fright that she poured way too much bleach into the washer and ruined her best dress. "Darn," said Toby's mother. "I hate bad moods." She stormed up the stairs and almost stomped the cat who was looking for love in all the wrong places. "What's wrong?" said Toby's sister. "There's a bad mood in the basement," said his mother, "but I don't want to talk about it." Toby's sister winked at her grandfather and said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of the bad mood." So she went down into the basement. She soon forgot why she was there and started looking at her photo album. She turned the page and saw a picture of her old boyfriend. "He's got a new girlfriend now," said the bad mood, who was sitting on the back of the sofa. "You make me sick," yelled the sister. She threw the album at the bad mood and rushed upstairs. "What's wrong?" said the grandfather. "There's a bad mood in the basement," said Toby's sister, "but I don't want to talk about it." The grandfather winked at the dog and said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of the bad mood." So he went down into the basement. He soon forgot why he was there and began to work on his old rocking chair. He was about to hammer a loose nail when the bad mood startled him and made Toby's grandfather hammer his thumb instead of the nail. "Darn," said the grandfather. "I hate bad moods." He put his thumb in his mouth and sucked it all the way up the stairs. The dog looked at Toby's grandfather. The grandfather talked to the dog like he was a human. "There's a bad mood in the basement," said the grandfather, "but I don't want to talk about it." Without uttering a sound, the dog decided it was time to investigate the problem in the basement. After all, he was the bravest in the house, and it was his job to protect the family from unwanted visitors. So he went down to the basement. Before the dog's paw even hit the basement floor, the bad mood jumped on his back and yelled in his ear, "I'm in charge down here. Get back upstairs and sit by the fire like a normal dog." The dog got such a fright that he scampered upstairs, skidded across the kitchen floor, jumped 3 feet in the air, and landed in Toby's lap. Plonk. Pretty soon, the entire house was in a bad mood. The dinner tasted awful. Toby's mother yelled at her husband because he pulled a face while trying to swallow a potato that resembled a jawbreaker. Toby's father yelled at his daughter because she picked her nose at the table and looked like she might eat it. Toby's sister yelled at Toby because he called her a boogerhead. And the dog got thrown out into the snow because he just happened to be walking past Toby at the wrong time. Oh. The only person who was happy was the bad mood. While everyone else was being grumpy and irritable, he was getting ready to go to bed. "I like this place," he said, snuggling into his little sleeping bag. Later that evening, after everyone else had gone to bed, Toby's mother and father went down to the basement to drink hot chocolate and watch television. They woke up the bad mood, and that made him angry. He climbed onto the couch behind Toby's father. "I'll teach him to disturb me," he growled. "I'll put Mr. Dad in a grumpy, horrible, I'm going to yell at her until she cries mood. That should send them both upstairs in a hurry." The bad mood was about to let Toby's father have it when something happened. Trying to see what happened. Okay. Toby's father put his arm around his wife and kissed her on the cheek. The bad mood looked like he was going to throw up. "This is no good. I'm going to have to teach them a valuable lesson," he grumbled. He jumped onto Toby's father's shoulder and tried with all his grumpy, horrible might to put the man in a bad mood. But Toby's father just leaned over to his wife and said, "I'm sorry I was so grumpy today." "Me too," said Toby's mother, resting her head on her husband's shoulder. An overwhelming feeling of love embraced them both. Toby's father stroked his wife's cheek and kissed her forehead. She closed her eyes and sighed. "Gross," said the bad mood. "I hate that kind of thing. I have no time for love and romance. Let me get out of this place. I think I'm going to be ill." The bad mood quickly packed his miserable, grumpy, horrible, ugly, bad moods into his sack and climbed out of the window. The bad mood stops into Toby's house every now and then for a quick visit, but he doesn't stay long. He's allergic to love and affection, and there's a lot of that going on around Toby's house these days. The end. Aw. I like that one. So basically, sometimes, we wake up in a bad mood, and that's just fine. Happens to everybody. But just know that you can't stay in that bad mood. You got to move on. All right? And I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.